Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Last game of the regular season, last game of Big East play. And the theater is the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. Winner goes to the postseason. If DePaul lose, they're out. If Georgetown loses, they need a St. John's loss to stay in as the 6th seed in the postseason. But basically, the implications of this one is win and in. As DePaul have won the first 2 games of this series, they've done what they've needed to do. This is their final hurdle, and they have to square off against Julia Parker inside the circle for the Georgetown Hoyas. Glad you're with us here on YouTube. I'm Christian Taylor, and off we go. Georgetown in the white unis here. White jerseys, white pants, white socks with a little bit of navy and gray trim on the tops of them. DePaul wearing their black unis today, all black. The black and white stripe down the left and right sides of the pants. Nicole Sullivan, the first batter of the game for the DePaul Blue Demons, who are sitting at 8-15 in conference, 16-30 overall. Next delivery is a strike. 1-2. They came into this weekend needing to win 3, and they have almost done it. Just one more to go as this one skied up into right field. It's Gianna Shulo who is able to range under it and claim the first out of the game. All eyes are certainly going to be on Julia Parker and how she deals today. We've seen plenty of moments this year where Julia Parker has been at her best, but certainly sometimes some games have carried, and she'll want to prevent that today. Next batter is Bailey Cosgrove, the second baseman for DePaul, wearing number 55. Cosgrove standing at 5'5". Saw her make a few putouts yesterday, as well as get hit by 2 pitches as well. One of them was an RBI, well, or at least got hit by a pitch when the bases were loaded, and were able to score. Foul ball. So make this one strike 2 here on Bailey Cosgrove, the second baseman. Batting third for DePaul is Brooke Johnson, the first baseman. Batting fourth, Anna Wohlers at third. Batting fifth, Tori Meyer in center field. Sixth is Carly Alvers as the DP. Here it comes. Swung on and missed. 2 down in the first inning. Grace Frazier bats 7th. She's in right. Batting 8th is Riley Poole behind the plate. And 9th, Addison Talbot, the left fielder. And that's how it goes offensively. But right now it's Brooke Johnson, the first baseman. Yesterday's game, sacrifice fly, and reached on a fielder's choice as she slaps it foul. One final Sunday matchup here at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. It is a matchup that has been controlled by DePaul, and by quite a bit. We're talking about 24-4. It's the all-time record for DePaul against Georgetown. The last Georgetown win against DePaul, you have to go back to 2018. The Hoyas won in Chicago, 5-4. The last time the Hoyas won in Washington, D.C., have to go back even further, 2015. Still at Guy Mason. 2-2 here. And you figure this year, with how much better the Hoyas have been, that maybe, just maybe, there had to be a win. Well, it hasn't gone that way so far, but certainly a chance today. Ball 3. It's full here. Has just kind of the feeling of a Game 7, doesn't it? That's what Pat Conlon had said before this. Game 7. Plain and simple, win and in, lose, and just about going home. Here it comes. A little grounder, third base. Lorena Vasquez Inzunza is on it, and a 1-2-3 inning for Julia Parker to get things going. To the bottom of the first we go. Here on YouTube.
It's true.
Left field, number 10, Cameron.
Bottom of the first. No score. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Julia Parker in her pitching end. And now it is Katie Pierce who will try to have her say for DePaul and is facing Cam Kondo to start off the bottom of the first. Well, Katie Pierce this year appearing in her 21st game, making her 8th start. She's only had one complete game this season, but would certainly love one here. She is the only pitcher yet to appear here in this series. Although warming up right now is Bella Niji for DePaul. She kind of had Georgetown's number yesterday, and you got to wonder if maybe they popped to her. Bunt laid down by Kondo! And that is a great play. Quickly ranging to it and getting the out. And Cosgrove maybe felt the after effects of Kondo sprinting over there to first, but they get the out, one away. Not a bad idea to try and get things going, especially since the bats have gone cold. Just one run in yesterday's game for Georgetown. It was a simple sacrifice fly from May Forsheet. Morgan Zamora, the shortstop here, batting second for the Hoyas. And sees the next one float away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Morgan Zamora, potentially playing in her last game. Grad student, San Bernardino, California. She will be back next year as a volunteer assistant coach for this team. Watch out. Fly ball, right side. Carrying back is Grace Frazier, who secures the second out. It's a good range
Number 15,
by the senior from Crown Point, Indiana. And here's May Forsheet. So she's batting third. Batting fourth is Lorena Vasquez Inzunza. Fifth is Sofia Scarangella at DP. Sixth is Gianna Shulo in right. Seventh, Naya Campos at first base. Ball 1. Casey Lyman, the second baseman, batting 8th, and Claire Turner, the center fielder, batting 9th. We will, of course, folks, keep you updated on what will be going on with St. John's and Creighton. Now, DePaul, they don't care about that game. Georgetown do, though, because in the case that Georgetown do not win today, they would need a St. John's loss to still get into the postseason. Now, obviously, you don't want to back in. Doesn't do you too many favors. And they would be backing in as the 6, but it would still get them in, which would be their first postseason appearance since 2014. Popped up, foul territory, and out near the bleachers. On the DePaul end of things, if they get to the tournament, if they win today, 17th straight Big East tournament, which is just incredible. Or the fact that, in the past, it's only been 4 teams in the postseason. They just only expanded it to 6 this year. Line right side, and it's over the head of Frazier. And Forshee has another hit here against the Blue Demons. Racing into second, she gets in sliding. She has really been one of the only few players on this Hoyas team who has been able to hit off of DePaul. She had a somewhat productive day. It was her RBI that hit in the run. Otherwise, she also had a single, one of just the few hits overall yesterday. One of just 4 hits yesterday. And now has a 2-out double, which gives Lorena Vasquez and Zunza something to think about. They've been all about these early innings where they've had success, and it's propelled them to a good handful of wins. They're starting off that game strong, giving Julia Parker some breathing room. Pierce delivers the next one. And that's the second ball here. Lorena Vasquez and Zunza also potentially playing in her last game, the senior, Chandler, Arizona, by way of Hamilton High School, where she won back-to-back state championships, 2016, 2017. Lorena Vasquez and Zunza rips one into left field. Green light is on for Forshee. She crosses the plate. RBI single, Lorena Vasquez and Zunza. Georgetown with an important 1-0 lead. So they will try and tack on here. Leads obviously haven't been safe in this series. They've had a lead in every game so far, but it's a great start here to Game 7, if you will. The must-win. Sophia Scarangella, the DP, was playing the role of Kayla Dunn, who still not seeing here today. Wind-up delivery. And that's a strike. Just paints the black there. 0-1. Sophia Scarangella played role of DP yesterday as well. And she's got the pop, but not yesterday. Couldn't get it out of the infield. A couple of groundouts over to Cosgrove at second, as well as a strikeout. Katie Pierce, first inning here, is now allowed that run to cross. Well done by May Forshee just to set up Lorena Vasquez and Zunza. Ripped into left center, also falls. Meyer claiming it. LVI rounding second, heads to third. So too Scarangella into second base. A double, a single, a double. Runners at second and third, 2 down. And it's Gianna Shulo. Time called here by head coach Tracy Oddix-Zins. Now remember, every little moment is going to be under a magnifying glass by both teams, by both coaches, because every little tiny error, everything that goes against you will garner or potentially garner some sort of change. Because you have to win. You have to do everything you can to try and pick up a victory today to get into the postseason. And so far in the first inning, it is the Hoyas who are asking the questions. We see that assistant coach Gabriela Alvina is very animated and talking to Sophia Scarangella, maybe just telling her, hey, just pay attention to my signs here. Shulo waits. Ball 1. You see Riley Poole thinking about tossing it to third. That's where Lorena Vasquez and Zunza is standing. These last 3 batters have made it work so far. 1-0. Hit deep, left field again. Talbot has it as she meandered back. That ends the first inning. Georgetown could have had more, but are able to get one. RBI single, Lorena Vasquez and Zunza scores May Forshee. Through 1, Hoyas with an important 1-0 lead. Chance for DePaul to try and equalize as they trail 1-0. Top two. Glad you're with us. I'm Christian Taylor here on YouTube. Julia Parker inside the circle for freshman from Portland, Oregon. Lyman awaits the next one and just has to take about a step back or so. By the way, I do have a score update. Creighton leads St. John's right now, 1-0 in the second inning. That's the result Georgetown want to hear. Obviously, they need this one to go their way. More importantly, ball 3 here for Lyman, and it's Coach Elvina who may be just whispering to her to swing or not here on this final pitch. And there's a strike, a long hesitation. Good hands by Coach Conlon receiving that ball, that baseball that lofted its way in. Lyman sits in on this one, and it is ball 4. First few batters here, you see Bella Niji not quite finding the strike zone as effectively as she was yesterday, but it is only a couple of batters. This is her first inning of work. But let's just see how the Georgetown Bats address her today. It seemed like at times yesterday they were going pretty early. They were swinging at some early pitches. Let's see if today this is just going to have to be a let her come to you situation. Claire Turner, the center fielder who almost came up with a heroic grab earlier. And that's ball 1. So see Niji just taking a little bit of a longer stride out of that rubber just to rethink this one. There's a strike. Claire Turner, who has climbed herself up to 4th on this team in batting average at .270, has only not played in 2 games this year. 1-1, a foul ball. 1-2. The only player on this Hoyas team to appear in every game is May Forshee. She has started and played in all 48. Very typical of Forshee. That's just the way she goes about things. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Turner, floating one, right side, too far. And with yesterday's result and what we saw Brooke Johnson do over there at first, it just needs to be in the vicinity of that fence. She's not afraid to climb it. Runner at first is Casey Lyman. 1 for 1 on stolen bases this year. It elevates out of the strike zone to go to 2-2. Claire Turner, the freshman from Palo Alto, California. It's on a really nice base streak as she swings through that one. It's a second strikeout, and it steps in Cam Kondo. 6 straight games, by the way, for Claire Turner and her receiving a hit. And we'll see if that continues today. But Kondo's average has dropped just a little bit to .333 here. Hasn't really gotten anything to go here against DePaul. Ball 1, or would she ever want something now? Just had a walk yesterday. Kondo without a hit in her last 2. 1-0, towering left side, should be playable. Talbot camps under it. 3rd out. Georgetown leave 1 on. We go to the 3rd, 3-1 for DePaul. Score update elsewhere. St. John's just tied the game. It's 1-1 there in the second inning. Again, the implications are so win and in for both of these teams. DePaul, if they lose, they're out. Georgetown, if they lose, they need St. John's to lose to still be in. That would be as the 6. And again, this team hasn't seen the postseason since 2014. And figured that, 9 wins would at least set them up for double-digit wins. But still trying it to find it hard to come by. But can they find a way? Still plenty of time here in this game. Third inning. Parker's still in there. Bailey Cosgrove, the hitter. And slaps one out of play. Gets the first strike of this count here. Cosgrove, the sophomore from Loda, Illinois. Paxton Buckley Loda High School for her. Cosgrove on the next one. Sees ball 3. Now Cosgrove, last season for DePaul, did have quite a bit of action, 42 games. And there's a strike that keeps her inside here. Started just 25. Had 2 more hits last year. And what she's got this year. Ready for this one. Infield, Zamora. On to it. Just at the lip of the outfield and infield. 1 away.
Number 8, Brooke Johnson.
That's Brooke Johnson, the first baseman. Just how incredible she has been. Brooke Johnson. Before DePaul, she played for the California Cruisers. Obviously, we know the state. Towering again, left side. Oh, it hits the post, which means it's gone. And DePaul have the 4th run of the game. Brooke Johnson, right to it. And they're making things look really easy right now. Well, as I was going to say, the California Cruisers there, she led the state of California in homers in 2019. And, this season for her, Anna Wohlers has just been so good, and this is the current batter. But Brooke Johnson has still been able to rake. Her last years here with DePaul. Last year had 13 homers. Year prior had 5. Year prior had 2. And today has just tallied her 6th, which is now her 2nd best home run tallying season in her DePaul career. And for Johnson, this is also her first home run in a while. First home run since April 2nd against Providence. And that one didn't look like there was any doubt if it had stayed fair, which it did. It's off the foul pole. 1-1 for Wohlers. It is 2 balls and 1 strike. Now we saw Brooke Plonka warming up a little bit earlier. We don't see her tossing the ball now. Not certain if that's in the cards yet for Coach Conlon. Strike 2 for Wohlers, who scored a run in the second inning. DePaul here, through this recent run of the lineup, have hit for the cycle. Three and 2. 4 total hits in this game for DePaul. Single, double, triple homer. And they have put themselves in a really nice position. That one ripped at first base in Campos. She lost her glove, and looks like she's okay. All she has to do is just step on first there. That's the second out, so Wohler's now 1 for 2. And it's Tori Meyer, who crossed the plate in the last inning, got hit by a pitch. Hoya's just trying to slow down the bats now all of a sudden for DePaul, and this could do it at least for this inning. Turner camps under it. That's the third out. Solo shot from Brooke Johnson was the run that passed for DePaul, and now the Hoyas needing to respond in the bottom of the third inning.
Number 18, Morgan Zamora.
Hoyas to try and get some more runs back. They'll start with hitter number 2, Morgan Zamora. Here in the third, trailing 4-1 against the DePaul Blue Demons. Bella Nidji is the pitcher. Canacorn, Cosgrove. Out number 1. Score update. St. John's now lead 4-1 against Creighton, which now puts even more importance on Georgetown winning here. Again, it's a win and in for both of these two teams. If DePaul lose, they're done. If Georgetown lose, they would need a St. John's loss to still get in, but that does not look likely at the moment with them leading 4-1. So if the results hold right now, Georgetown is the 7th spot and are out of the postseason. Which would be so gut-wrenching with a team that was in this position really nicely. Slapped in the left, and it lands in front of Addison Talbot. Forshe's trying to do all she can. She's just been incredible here.
Third base.
Going out with a bang, really. I mean, let's just go over May Forshe's last games here. Didn't have a hit in the final 2 games against Butler, but before that, had a 4-game hit streak. Had 9 hits in just those 4 games. That was from the second game of St. John's all the way to game 1 against Butler. Foul ball that thuds off the mask of Riley Poole. I'm going to keep going here. Forshe thought that maybe it was in, but I'm going to give time here for Poole. And that is, once again, just bang, bang with that swing there. And Poole's still just trying to make sure she's okay. He's going through protocol right now with the trainer. Because that's certainly something that rattles your cage, doesn't it? And now she's smiling, which is good. Very good. Remember, she's got the glasses on inside the mask, too, so you had to think that maybe that could be some of it. But she gets that helmet back on. And it looks like she's given the okay here. And we'll allow Lorena Vasquez and Zunza to step on back in. All right, play can continue. Good to see. Pool okay back there. So it's 0-1 after all of that. And there's another swing and a miss. Strike two. You know, certainly if you're Georgetown and you were in the spot, you just need to win one game against DePaul. Would have liked your chances, but this has just been a team that has had their number and obviously still a long ways to go. And over the head of Johnson, it is fair. So Forsey's in at second. Oh, she's going to try for third. And she is out. Watch out, double play chance. And she just got her foot in there. Lorena Vasquez and Zunza would have been absolutely heroic by the DePaul defense. I see Georgetown just trying to get every single possible base they can. And yet again, just like yesterday, they tried to test Johnson and her arm over there at first, but she got it. Had a 3-5 double play yesterday, and today was able to scoop one up, go for a 3-5 singular out, but almost a double play. Sophia Scarangella with a runner at second and swings at a low one. 1-1. Every single moment Georgetown have a player running in scoring position. That's something you have to capitalize on. You have to today. 1-1 pitch comes home. A good snag by Poole there. Sophia Scarangella had a double in the first inning. And moved runners over to second and third before Gianna Shulo was the one to fly out to close off the inning. Angles one in, low and on the ground. Cosgrove dives forward from her knees. Concludes the inning. Great play by the sophomore. And Georgetown leaving one on base. To the fourth inning now we go. It is DePaul who lead by 3. Well, DePaul exactly in the position they want here, leading 4-1, top of the fourth inning against Georgetown, a win and in scenario. They can't lose today. They couldn't have lost this entire weekend. And St. John's are winning 4-1 elsewhere. This result doesn't help them. They would have needed to go in with a win of their own or a DePaul loss. Georgetown win helps them out, but if they're winning themselves, then that's all they need to do. 1-1. There's a second strike to Carly Alvers, the DP. Carly Alvers, she started playing softball at the age of 6, or it was her dad that got into it. It's kind of usually the starting age that you see for a lot of softball players. There's a ball. She was mentioning how her dad got her just this Dora Explorer bat, and that's just kind of what loaded it all up for her. Played in the basement with her father, and just after that joined the rec team, and it all just kind of continued from there. But she mentioned how she was already recruited as a 7th grader. You know, coaches would come to their camps and practices, and once she turned to a freshman in high school, those recruiting rules changed just a little bit. But when it was time for her to pick a college and visit campuses, she found her way onto DePaul's campus there in Chicago and instantly fell in love, and now she is here rocking it. And just in her sophomore year from Lincoln Way Central High School, and has one hit very tall into right field. A jumping grab by Shulo. Out 1 in the 4th.
Right field. Number 1, Grace Frazier.
Grace Frazier. Attended Crown Point High School. 2-time NFCA Scholar Athlete. Was a Scholar Athlete 4 times, 4 years in high school. 3-time Big East All-Academic Team selection as well. And of all her seasons here at DePaul, this has been her best at the plate as well. Strike 1. Came into this series 243. Highest batting average in any previous season was just a simple 192, and she had done that in the weird 2021 season. 2-1. 28 of her 46 career hits, that's entering this series. That was this year, 28 of 46. It's been a really nice, eye-opening campaign for her. And with that single here today, wants to try and go out in style here against the Hoyas. Well, and of course everything could continue as there's ball 4. If the result holds, we'll be playing at least a few more games up there in Connecticut.
Number 10, Riley Poole.
Riley Poole, the dangerous catcher. Double, 2 RBIs on it. Yesterday, single, 2-run homer, couple of runs scored. Seems like this might be Parker's game. No sign of Plaka warming up here, or anybody else for Georgetown. Coach Conlon trusts Parker and just hopes that somehow the offense can turn it up elsewhere. That's why you're seeing the aggressive base running so far today. Everything hit into the outfield. They're looking for multiple bases, trying to test the defense, and there's a wild pitch that floats away from Forshee. And easily getting to second is Grace Frazier. Two 2-0. Junior, Scottsburg, Indiana, Riley Poole. Started in 37 games last year, mostly as catcher. First strike given here. And split a little bit of time with Wohlers there behind the plate. Wohlers, though, is just a great defensive player, and they opt to put her there at the hot corner. The hottest of 2 corners, really, behind the plate and third base. Probably the 2 toughest positions to play in this sport of softball. Riley Poole's just been so patient again on this at-bat, and she takes another one really far. Continues to rake against Georgetown. Second home run in as many days. Her 4th career homer, 3 of them against Georgetown. She has been doing all the damage down there and pushes DePaul one step closer to the postseason.
Left field, number 28, Addison Talbot.
Elsewhere, it is still St. John's leading 4-1, top of the third inning there in Omaha, Nebraska. Talbot, the batter, showing bunt, gets it down, but it's out of bounds here. Wow, 3 straight innings of runs for DePaul. Just the total opposite way Georgetown would have wanted this one. Parker offers another one, and it's not taken by Addison Talbot, who struck out swinging in the second inning. There's just one of 2 strikeouts from Julia Parker in the circle today. 3-1, the count escalates, and she can't quite get out of this inning here. Brooke Plonka up and warming up in the bullpen. Three balls, 1 strike now on Addison Talbot, the sophomore from Bourbonnais, Illinois, and will take another walk here. Second walk by Julia Parker. It took her until this inning to give one up.
Nicole Sullivan.
May Forshee yelling out instructions here for the infield, who are just so desperate to get out of this as now they're trailing 6-1. It's just gotten worse and worse each inning. They had the lead again today at 1-0 after the first. They've had a lead in all 3 games, but all of which have quickly been evaporated. Sullivan drives one away. Sullivan 0 for 2 today. Fly out to right. And a ground out to third base. Wide up in the pitch. Parker delivers a second strike here. Now Parker this season, once again, has seen some good moments, has seen some not so good moments. But here in this start, as ball 1 comes through, this is her 20th of the season, which ties herself up with Brooke Plonka, but her 33 appearance, which is 2 more than Plonka. That is, unless Plonka still comes in here today, which she still very much could. Parker sees a swing and a miss. Another quick check. Got to be so urgent over there and alert at first base with Forshee. But with that strikeout, that is her 3rd of the day. 2nd out of the 4th inning. And it's Bailey Cosgrove, one of just a few batters already in this DePaul lineup who has not reached. Only her and Alvers haven't reached today. And Alvers still added to the game with a sacrifice fly. Well, and Sullivan now, who's 0 for 3. All the action for DePaul, at least in these last few days, have been these hitters below 1 and 2. Ripped. And disposed of. Lands off of the roof now and will roll into the street. Took a lot of time up there, didn't it? Cosgrove, who made that nice defensive play in the last half inning from her knees, sliding out there. Just imagine the confidence that this gives here for DePaul. And I'll tell you what, folks, if they hold on here and advance to the postseason as Cosgrove towers one, Zamora calling off Kondo, that ends it. I was saying, if they hold on here, DePaul, if they can close out the final 4 innings, you know, they've been playing playoff softball for a bit. Watch out if you're another Big East team. We'll step back into the 4th inning here on YouTube after this. Well, good news for Georgetown fans. You know that need a little bit of good news right now. Creighton just scored a run. They're down 4-2 instead of 4-1 now. Remember, that's the only other option through if the Hoyas lose today, is if St. John's lose. Then Georgetown are in as the 6. They'd be backing into that spot, but again, be their first tournament berth since 2014. Gianna Shulo for her second at-bat today, in place of the usual Brittany Liu out and right. Shulo flew out to left field. It actually looked pretty decent when she swung on it. Ball added here. Shulo appearing in her 38th game, 17th start. Her average is at 283, 15 hits. Loud swing for strike 2. Shulo had a hit in game 1 of this series, and actually was on a 5-game hit streak before she went 0 for 1 yesterday. A really strong DePaul series, and chases the final one. Bella Nidji has come in and has only allowed 1 hit, and it was to May Forshee. Well, as well as Lorena Vasquez and Zunza was able to work her way on. Naya Campos struck out swinging in the second inning. Now, Bella Nidji, you know, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but just a fascinating move just to even start playing here at DePaul. And as many athletes know, strike 1, it is really difficult to navigate the recruitment waters. As everybody wants to play D1, not everybody can. Obviously, it's a bunch of reaching out, and coaches seeing you and reaching out to you, and everything in the mix. There's a second strike. And for Nidji, she thought that career of hers was going to continue over at Toledo, over in Ohio, part of the MAC. Play under Coach Joe Abraham over there, but Campos, this has a little bit of carry to it. Left side, though, again, and Addison Talbot had it read the whole way. Second out of the 4th inning, which means Casey Lyman is the batter. But Nidji was all set, but then in about June of last year, they had a coaching change over there at Toledo. Jessica Bracamonte, former assistant coach under the great Margot Yonker over at Central Michigan University. She got the head coaching gig and brought former CMU standout Kayla Notch with her. And so those were the 2 new coaches over there at Toledo, and of course Nidji wasn't entirely too certain then of how to continue, so she was offered the chance to pull the scholarship, which did end up happening, but again was kind of looking for a place to go, and it was her teammate Anna Wohlers. Remember, they played together over at Assumption High School. It's her teammate who told her at just a simple graduation party that, hey, you know, DePaul could need a pitcher. Lost a lot of arms, lost all the arms from last year. They need somebody, and she accepted the call. She stepped onto campus, loved it immediately. Again, how can you not? Right there in Chicago. And it's been a match made in heaven. She's turned into one of the star pitchers of this team, lowest ERA of anybody, and has been dealing against the Georgetown Hoyas this weekend. And Casey Lyman able to walk on with 4 straight. That's her second walk of the day. Been kind of the lone base runner in innings 2 and now inning 4. It's Claire Turner with 2 outs. Just wanting to set up the opportunity for Cam Kondo where anything can happen. Time is called. Maybe just again to address Claire Turner. Maybe just to be alert too of a bunt attempt. You know, Claire Turner's got maybe the best pace on this team. Maybe just trying to find anything right now, but every time Hoyas have gotten a base runner, there has at least been some sort of questions aimed right at that DePaul dugout, and a few times we've seen Coach Adik Zinn's head on out there just to address what can go on next, and numerous times we've seen it work out. Sometimes instructions is a little bit easier. You can use it through your ears than just taking a look at the signs. Get yourself on page. And they're maybe going to go right at Claire Turner here. Niji offers the next one, and it's a foul ball again. Just right at the Little Leaguers over there in the expansion field. 0-2. Quickly went at Turner, as we somewhat suspected, who struck out swinging in the second inning. Figured just needs to make contact to make things a little uneasy. The ball misses upstairs. 1-2. Claire Turner is going to be a threat. Continue to be a threat. You think about it, next year she could be the leadoff hitter for this team. She does a lot of things that leadoff hitters can do. It takes a little roller, that's foul. And this team's going to be losing some star people. Lorena Vasquez and Zunza, Cam Kondo, May Forshee, Sophia Scarangella, Morgan Zamora, Brooke Plonka, Brittany Liu. You know, Coach Collins going to want a few transfers and certainly some young freshmen in there. This one gets away from Riley Poole. And into second goes Casey Lyman, so that at least sets the table for maybe a second run for the Hoyas. But just always very curious to see how teams develop and move on once each class departs. Still got a little bit to go here in this one. Ripped into center field. It's hit for a base hit. Lyman on her horse heading home. She scores. Claire Turner RBI single. Still a little bit of life here for the Hoyas here in the fourth inning. Much needed run. Just a simple walk from Lyman and a wild pitch to second. That's how the run scores. Cameron Kondo starts off now. The top of the order. And that's the discussion. First time in a while we've seen a coach go out, say something, and then it just not work. You know, the one thing on Kondo's mind is to send one over. We'll see if it happens. Kondo! Left field. Talbot didn't have to move much. Just so much power coming off that swing every time, but knew she just missed it. That ends the fourth inning. 6-2. Final 3 innings to go. In the final game, Brooke Plonka, the new pitcher for Georgetown. Pitching change made by Coach Conlon. Brooke Plonka is out there. Julia Parker's day is done. She allowed the 6 runs. And it's Brooke Johnson, who had a solo homer last time up in the 3rd inning. Clanked one off the foul pole. Elsewhere, St. John's still lead 4-2. It's top of the 4th inning there. They're at the plate. Again, results hold. DePaul and St. John's are in. But the Hoyas able to get one there in the bottom of the 4th. It didn't quite look like much was going to happen. Lyman walked, but then got to second off of a wild pitch, and then Claire Turner hit her in. It's just small moments like that you might be able to turn back to. This one is fair, third base line, and LVI unable to fully claim. And so Johnson is back in again. Brooke Johnson, just incredible. Now, in doing, a little bit of research of these players before games, you have to find different ways to do so. And with Brooke Johnson, obviously there are a few articles out there of just what she was able to do pre-DePaul, and even some articles, of course, during her time here at DePaul. But she's not the only Brooke Johnson in softball. Is this one floated out left center? Kondo claims there. First out of the 5th inning. So there are a lot of other Brooke Johnsons, actually, not just this year, but all time in softball history as Tori Myers at the plate. I'll repeat a few of them here. There was a Brooke Johnson that played with the Houston Cougars back in 2006. A Brooke Johnson that played at Division II's University of Indianapolis in 2010. 2009, there was a Brooke Johnson over at Florida. 2018, freshman at Oklahoma State, there was a Brooke Johnson. And then finally there's a few more, and these are my favorite here. I kind of just ended up getting onto a really deep dive as this one sent into left, a single from Tori Meyer. This is their 2nd time on today. So 2 runners on again, and Brooke Plonka is trying to deal with this here. It is Avery Wismar who is warming up in the pen for Georgetown. As Carly Alvers steps in, doesn't have a hit today, but does have a sacrifice fly, which was in the 2nd inning. Now Johnson standing over at second. The final couple of other Brooke Johnsons, they're currently playing elsewhere. Foul ball. And they're both in Division II, and both in the state of Arkansas. There's a Brooke Johnson who plays at Henderson State there in Arkansas, and a Brooke Johnson who plays at Harding University, also in Arkansas. Now, since they're in the same state, you had to wonder, did they play each other? The answer is yes, as this one's up the middle, and the green light is on for Brooke Johnson as she is heading home. She is safe. Carly Alvers delivers, and another run crosses the plate for DePaul, 7-2. They just keep that line moving. Whenever Georgetown have a say, they at least get another one back, and Brooke Plonka still only with 1 out here. But to continue that, yes, the Brooke Johnsons there in Arkansas did play against each other. They had a 3-game series. The Brooke Johnson at Henderson State plays more than the one at Harding, but the Brooke Johnson at Harding did appear as a pinch runner. So at one tiny point, there were 2 Brooke Johnsons playing against each other in Division II softball this year. That's the wormhole I was able to dive into. And Brooke Johnson just scored, singled to lead off this 5th inning for DePaul, and worked her way all the way around to score. Order have all done at least something. There's at least an RBI or run totaled, at least almost to Talbot. She only has a couple of walks, but still adding something. There's a fly ball to center, and Cosgrove retires 2 away.
First base, number 8, Brooke.
That's Brooke Johnson again. The tall 6'1" first baseman. I walked past her there on the sidewalk, getting to the scorer's table behind her home plate. She is tall. Just a presence about her. It's a quiet leadership by Brooke Johnson. Obviously, you know, when you look at players like a Cam Kondo, right, for Georgetown, she's vocal, she's uplifting, everything you can want. She's one of the leaders of this team. Brooke Johnson, one of the leaders of this DePaul team, but does it in the other way, right? Leads by example. All these other players just kind of group in around her and just follow her lead, and she's usually there making the difference, isn't she? And she finds another hit. It's her 3rd of the day. Couple of singles now to follow up from that solo homer off the foul pole.
Third base, number 22, Anna Hollers.
And DePaul creating a little bit of pandemonium again. Georgetown will need to build up a wall, try and prevent anything else from happening. Anna Wohlers, who tripled in the 2nd inning, that kind of got things going after the offense went very quick, 1-2-3 in the first. It hasn't been like that since. The fewest amount of batters that a DePaul inning has seen since that 1-2-3 inning was 4 batters in the 3rd inning, whereas everything else has been at least 5-6 plus, and always a run scoring. Strike 1. 1 out away from their first scoreless defensive inning, Georgetown, since the first. They trail 8-3 in a must-win game. Ripped, right side, foul ball. And word is finally given to the rest of the base runners there, and both Talbot and Johnson. Once again, if results hold here, if this 8-3 lead stays for DePaul or even more, and the 5-2 lead for St. John stays, those are the 2 teams in. DePaul entered this weekend at some of the highest odds of anybody to get in. Creighton had the highest of them all, but DePaul needed so much else that needed to go their way. They needed to go 3-0. There are St. John's drops 2 games, Providence drops 1. That's how they get into that 5 spot. And this is all that's kind of happened here, almost. They need to go 3-0. St. John's needs to win 2, and that's how they were to get the 6th. And that's what it's in line to do at the moment. Anna Wohlers is just really holding on this one. Well, good news for Georgetown. Creighton just scored. It's 5-3 over there now. Hannah Mearns is the pitcher for St. John's at the moment. Lily West was just there at the plate. Foul ball. Georgetown familiar with Lily West and her performances here. Another young star here in this conference. But DePaul, even a year where they took a major step back after just, again, 16 straight Big East tournaments, as there's ball 4. Second walk of the inning, bases loaded for Tori Meyer. Even in a year where they lost so many people, they have a lot of underclassmen, they are still yet again on the doorstep of a postseason appearance. Avery Wismar is now walking towards the dugout, but she's not quite given the green light to head on in. Plonka's going to stay out there with the bases loaded. This could be hers. We have not seen Wismar in a while. Wismar's last pitching appearance was April 26th. That was her first in the entire month. She threw 5 innings against George Mason. who I've been told is that a pitcher who threw a no-hitter and then a one-hitter the next day this weekend. 1-0. Tori Meyer waiting here with a couple of outs, bases loaded. Meyer makes contact. It is fair down the third baseline. 1 run's in, 2 runs are in. DePaul responds again. 2 more runs, 10-3, lead is 7. Everybody from 3 and below just causing havoc. So Talbot, who was on those base paths for a while, she went in. So too Johnson. Johnson with her 3rd run of the game. Anna Wohlers is standing at 3rd, and now it's Meyer at 2nd. And another one hit into the outfield. This will certainly score 2 more. And in goes Meyer. 2 RBI single for Alvers. 3 RBIs for her today. 12-3.
Right field, number 1, Grace.
And now it is Mercy situation, where if Georgetown can't score in the bottom of the 6th, it's done. And so could their season as well. Wow, what a performance by this DePaul offense. They knew they needed the offense to step on in and wake up, and it did, and then some. Their lowest output was the game yesterday, where it still seemed like they didn't have much of an issue. Grace Frazier on the foul ball. This is a character-building season for DePaul. They've been playing playoff softball for a while. And they're most likely, barring anything crazy, going to head in as this one's towards Kondo, and she's got it to finally end this 6th inning. Barring anything crazy, that is going to be tough to play in the postseason. All right, home half of the 6th inning, Georgetown. They need a couple. They need 2 to keep this game alive in their hopes for the postseason. Brittany Liu is going to pinch hit for Naya Campos here in the 6th inning. Again, Georgetown need 2 runs just to even keep this game alive, and are really close to getting mercied in their final home game of the regular season, potentially ending their season. However, there is some news elsewhere. Creighton have just made it 5-4. They're still trailing, but they got runners at the corners, 1 out against St. John's. That is the only avenue into the postseason for Georgetown, barring an insane comeback here, as St. John's loss is the other thing that puts them in as the 6th seed. Liu pops her up. Center field, Tori Meyer, 1 out.
Number 3.
Casey Lyman,
Lyman.
second to last chance here for the Hoyas. She has 2 walks today, also a run scored. Has scored 1 of the 3. There's a strike, 0-1. Bottom 6, 12-3. DePaul brilliant again today. If you want a blueprint on how to win with your backs against the wall, and watch out, Lyman clears it. They get one more back here. Casey Lyman making it 12-4 here in the 6th. It's her second home run of the season. Again, I don't think you can really fault the Hoyas too much, at least on the offensive end here in this game. In the last few innings at least, they've shown a little bit of life. And at least with the few base runners they've gotten, they've been able to tally some runs, but it's just been the other way this time, where the pitching has just about let them down today. Usually in some games, the pitching has been awfully strong. So it's 12-4. Again, it's still mercy rule. If they can't get a run, they need one more to at least push this game to the 7th inning. First strike here to Claire Turner. But this is potentially just a matter of watch and wait. That St. John's and Creighton game, 1-0. Another one that's hit fairly hard in the left, and a sliding grab by Addison Talbot, denying Turner of extra bases. And it's Tori Meyer who picks up Talbot in love and support.